ITV is preparing apparently a bloodbath, and Phil Schofield and Holly Willoughby are both in line for some serious bloodletting. The rumour is, of course, that Philip Schofield is going to be gone and Holly Willoughby will somehow survive. And Oliver Dowden, yesterday in Prime Minister's Questions, actually referred to Philip and Holly. They made it onto, when your scandal makes it onto PMQs, you know that it's time to do something. And I cannot imagine that ITV will even sit back and wait for September before they move now. This scandal has got to prime time politics as well as prime time viewing. And to compare Holly Willoughby and Philip Schofield with Sir Keir Starmer and Rayner, it is extraordinary. All lovey-dovey on the surface, but a different story once the cameras are off, said Oliver Dowden, the Phil and Holly of British politics. Well, GBNews, I don't know why I ever look at this sort of rubbish, but there we are. GBNews has done did a piece where they interviewed Kim Woodburn. Do you remember her? I don't know what she did on the I'm a Celebrity. In fact, I didn't watch it. I have seen her being interviewed by Philip Schofield on this morning on ITV, and it was uncomfortable. And I certainly remember her cleaning houses. I thought she was hilarious. And she was also in Panto. She was in the same company that I was in. And Andrea Jenkins was on GBNews. She's the lady who gave the finger. And Edwina Currie, she's the lady with the eggs. And Andrea Jenkins didn't have very much to say. She talked about Starmer and Rayner being dysfunctional. Who is the more dysfunctional was the question. And Edwina Currie said it was like two dogs in a room in the Labour Party, and then she started going down that image and then pulled back a little. But the point is, Sir Keir Starmer had tried to sack his deputy and failed. Edwina Currie said that Rayner was like single-use plastic, and then she started waxing lyrical about Rishi Sunak. He said Rishi Sunak is all steel, shiny and good-looking. And then we came to Kim Woodburn. Now, Kim Woodburn didn't have a great deal to say about the Labour Party, except to say that Rayner had called the Conservative front bench homophobic, misogynistic scum, which is a little rich. That's the sort of language that should be used by a racy journalist or an opinion writer, not by somebody who is on the government or opposition benches. It's inappropriate language, but there we are. But she had a very interesting insight into Philip and Holly. She said about, she was extraordinary about Holly. She doesn't like Holly. She said that, I'm going to quote, she said she is a two-faced bitch. Slightly shocking language, but she's not a politician, so I suppose she can say it. And she was certainly treated very badly in the interview that I saw. Not all sweetness and light, my love, she said about Holly. The moment she knows bullets are firing, she's saying, well, she could present the show on her own. And she has aided and abetted Philip for years. In what way? Well, and here was interesting. It's Kim Woodburn's opinion that Philip is a bully and that Philip has reduced a lot of his guests to tears, that they've left the studio miserable, and Holly Willoughby has done nothing to help. Holly Willoughby isn't paid to agree with everything her co-host says. Holly Willoughby is paid to have opinions. And instead, Kim Woodburn doesn't think that she has been independent enough over the period that they've been presenting together. Philip, of course, started presenting 20 years ago. 20 years ago he's been doing this. And as I say, I think the issue is not whether one of them is a bully, one of them is a better or whatever. I think the problem is that Philip has become the subject of the news rather than the presenter of the news, and Philip is no longer the frivolous boy next door. Philip has become the problem.